This is McFly Unzipped. For the next hour, McFly will reveal all. The story of their success, their highs, their lows, and what life is like in the biggest band on planet pop right now. In the beginning, there was Danny Jones.
Picked up a guitar, fell in love with it, months old, got a real one, got lessons.
Tom Fletcher.
My dad was in bands, like playing pubs and clubs and stuff, so I always looked up to him and sort of when he really wanted to play guitar.
Harry Judd.
I played like trumpet when I was younger. Yeah, I played like orchestras and bands and stuff. And I didn't really start playing drums until like about 2.5 years ago.
And Dougie Pointer.
It was when I was about 12 or 13 that I started getting into like rock bands and things like that, and that's when I just decided to start playing bass, I guess.
This is their story. We'll start with Tom.
I auditioned for Busted, and that's how I met the management and stuff. And obviously I didn't get into Busted, but I carried on writing songs, and eventually they said, yeah, they're getting quite good, and they would start getting more interested in managing me. I didn't have a job at the time, and I was just at college, so I had like no money. And they were holding auditions with Universal Records for a new boy band, and they said, why don't you come along around the country and film the auditions and hand out the leaflets and stuff, and we'll pay you to do it. So I was like, yes, okay. And it gets me out of college for a couple of weeks, and I get paid for filming an audition, so it was really easy for me.
I have boy band members as well.
Yeah, not that I'm into that. And so anyway, we've been all around the country and we got to Manchester. There's all these people, like boys, doing stretches and stuff, like proper boy bandy. And
no one had a guitar, so I was thinking, yeah, what's going on here?
And so anyway, he walks through the door, and like everyone's singing like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Boyzone and all this stuff, and he gets up and he's singing. What did you sing?
Bittersweet Symphony.
Bittersweet Symphony. And then you're like, well, do you know anything more pop? And he was like, Paul Weller. And it was like,
seriously,
okay.
I was so bad.
But anyway, and like me and our manager Fletch sort of looked at each other and thought it was like really cool. And we went and spoke to him afterwards, and I was writing with James and Busted at the time, and we asked him if he wanted to come down and write with me and James, and we wrote, obviously, our single, obviously, the first time he came down and wrote, and it was from there, it was sort of like, well, you know, he's really cool, and we got on really well. We put ads in, a few people we put on in the Stage and Enemy, and a few other put them on the internet and a few other places, just to see if we could find a drummer or a bass player and have these auditions. And these two ended up coming to the same audition.
Harry had a band called Starting Line on his t-shirt, so we kind of like got talking, so I kind of knew that we had a little bit in common.
Yeah, we got chatting and stuff, and everyone else outside looked like Tom and Danny. I remember they like walked past. I was like, oh, that must be them. And basically just did the audition. Got in.
With the lineup complete, Tom christened the band McFly after Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Then, all they needed was somewhere to rehearse.
Obviously, he's from Bolton, and these two from Essex, I'm from Harrow, and we all needed somewhere local to live, because he couldn't travel down from Bolton every time, and we needed somewhere near to London. And so we all said we wanted to live in a house. We wanted somewhere where we could, sort of play all our instruments, play our drums and set up all our instruments and stuff.
Yeah, because flats the walls were a bit thin.
And so we said we'll rather have a house. Actually, the first house we found was sort of perfect for us. We've lived with each other now for like almost 2 years, so.
Whoever's fighting, it's normally me who wins.
He never wins.
I always win the fights.
We get on like brothers. Like we have our arguments and our rows, and we get on. Most of the time, we get on really well.
Hey guys, what's up? It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm awake and I'm buzzing.
Right. I'm gonna wake up Tom first, because I know that he'd wake me up first, so. Perfect. Can use you later, James.
What's up, man?
Give me 5.
I hate drummers.
That was fun.
stages of their career, McFly were able to use their connections with Busted. Tom had written songs with James, and Harry and Charlie had been at school together,